This is about Lenin, Trotsky, and the situation in Russia during and after both revolutions quite a bit in our regular episodes, and will continue to do so. But who were these guys, and how did they end up in their
Lenin
positions of power? Let's have a look.
Detta är från The Great War här ovan.
I'm Indy Nidell. Welcome to a Great War special episode about Lenin, Trotsky, and the Bolsheviks' unlikely rise to power. Leon Trotsky was born Lev Bronstein in what is now Ukraine in 1879. His father was a wealthy landowner, so Lev had an expensive education and was a model student. He was ambivalent towards politics until he met members of the People's Will Party, a radical organization that was behind Tsar Alexander II's assassination. Their beliefs had a romantic effect on Lev, and he abandoned his studies to live in their revolutionary commune, wearing workers' clothing and refusing anything even remotely bourgeois except his glasses. He organized workers' meetings and started the newspaper Our Cause. This eventually got him arrested in 1898, and he was sentenced to 2 years prison and then exile in Siberia. In prison, he shifted towards Marxism, and in Siberia read Lenin's The Development of Capitalism in Russia and tried to determine if Marxism meant reform or revolution. To do that, he fled his exile and made his way to London, abandoning his wife and daughters. He arrived there in October 1902 and went straight to Lenin's door. He knocked and was invited inside. Lenin was born Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov in 1870 in Simbirsk. His parents were wealthy conservatives, but his brother was a radical socialist who got the death sentence for plotting and failing to assassinate Tsar Alexander III. Lenin studied law at Kazan University, but his real interest was the socio-political theory of Marxism, and he spent his time engaged in discussions about class struggle and the future of capitalistic society. Unlike many, he did not believe that agrarian society would lead the inevitable revolution. He also thought that Germany and its powerful social democratic movement was the prime target for proletarian uprising. In 1893, he moved to St. Petersburg and illegally printed his first Marxist publications. Then, financed by his mother, he visited Marxists in Zurich, Paris, and Berlin to discuss their theories. Upon his return to Russia, he was arrested and sentenced to a 3-year exile in Siberia. In 1900, he left Russia with plans to raise money for a Marxist newspaper called Iskra, the Spark. From Switzerland to Munich, and then to London he went, where Trotsky one day knocked on his door. Lenin was taken by Trotsky's fervor and knowledge and gave him a job on Iskra's editorial board, writing political articles and editorials. The main goal of Iskra's involvement with the Russian Marxists was to call a second Congress of the Russian Social Democratic Labor Party and to restructure it with Lenin and the other editors at its head. Lenin was already showing autocratic ambition, which Trotsky did not approve of. He thought many would fear Lenin's dictatorial course and strict party discipline, and it would alienate people on both the left and the right. The Congress, held the summer of 1903, proved Trotsky right, as the Russian Marxists split into Lenin and the Bolsheviks, and the Mensheviks, with whom Trotsky sided. The Mensheviks believed the working classes needed guidance, but not a leader. The political situation was accelerating the working classes...
Kolla här. Han här. Ser ni hur lik han är Olof Palme? Vänta. Vad ska vi se? Olof Palme, Lenin confirmed. Oh my god. Lenin dog aldrig. Han kom till Sverige och gav oss valfärd. Shit. Oj, ursäkta. Det är han. Vefer i valfärd. Olof Palme var fejman.
Needed guidance, but not a leader. The political situation was accelerating rapidly at the time, and civil unrest was shaking Russia. From Finland, Trotsky aimed to agitate the workers into laying down their tools and uniting to turn St. Pete into a revolutionary camp. Lenin called for violent revolution. During the general strike of October 1905, following Russia's defeat in the Japanese War, the Mensheviks formed the Petrograd Soviet with Trotsky as vice chairman in absentia. The 1905 revolt had the potential to turn into a socialist revolution, but the liberal reformers prevailed.
Men alltså det är ju Olof Palme med.
Forward to Russia's
Han
February
fejkade 2
Revolution in
gånger. Det
1917.
leder.
Now, if you want to learn more about the situation in Russia between 1905 and 1917, check out our special episode. The link is in the description below. Anyway, many socialist organizations could emerge from the shadows, and many political figures could return from exile abroad. The Mensheviks and the SRs, Socialist Revolutionaries, began taking over the Soviets. Councils. The Mensheviks worked to the Soviet, and they called for a peace from the World War with no annexations. The Bolsheviks appeared on the scene in March and wanted to radicalize the whole socialist movement.
Jag minns inte, vi hade så många prenumeranter på den kanalen.
And the Bolsheviks wanted violent revolution, though they both wanted
Vi har 11 eller något.
The failure that
jag trodde
summer
du
of the
typ skulle säga att vi hade typ 70 stycken.
destabilized Alexander
Det hade varit
Kerensky's government,
sjukt.
and the political scene was swinging to
Att
the
vi har,
left.
eller ja, i och för
Trotsky
sig.
had joined the Bolsheviks despite
Ja, alltså 70 hade ju varit sjukt, men 11, jag vet inte var de 11 kom ifrån.
Säkert våra egna konton. Och säkert så typ bara ett par andra Hugo är säkert subbat.
Ja, säkert. Further divided the socialists. It also got Lenin branded a traitor and he was forced to flee to Finland since the Kerensky government wanted him dead. He left Trotsky in charge. In September, as we saw, Kerensky made a mistake, arming tens of thousands of Bolshevik and left SS supporters the coup attempt of Lav Kornilov. And Lenin began calling to overthrow the government. By the end of October, the military revolutionary committee was formed.
Vad är det du kallar?
The second revolution of the year. Lenin had a pretty clear vision of what he wanted to achieve and what kind of government he wanted to lead. faced with a choice of joining a coalition with the other socialist parties and being a minor voice inside a multi-party government, or actively destroying any
Nej, tänker du
compromise in
copyright-striken
ideology,
nu för jag
he
sjöng
chose the
nyss.
latter.
Nej, man blir inte kopplad. Jag kan sjunga...
All or nothing course.
Om bara man sjunger det
Without
själv
Lenin,
så kan man
they
inte
would
bli
not have emerged as powerfully as they did. He was convinced that
Pink
he was
fluffy
the revolution.
unicorns
Should he
dancing
fail,
on
the
Åh,
revolution
nu.
would too. He was probably right.
Alltså, tänk att kunna samla folk sådär.
SRs not supported
Åh.
Lenin at the crucial moments, the
Åh,
Bolsheviks
var det
may
någon som
well have
posade med en
been a
kanon där
minor
nyss?
party in a coalition.
Oj.
And it was Trotsky who organized the takeover
Jag
of
tror du ser det nu
Petrograd
på stream.
while
De
Lenin
posar med
feared for his
kanoner.
life. But when Trotsky held power, he ceded it to Lenin.
Åh, Trotsky.
The revolution was everything,
nu jävlar.
not personal power, and he
Det
exchanged
är fan
power
sant.
for acceptance into the
Revolutionen var
Bolshevik
allt här.
ranks. As for the Brest-Litovsk Treaty, okay, new
Fina
research
revolution.
from unpublished records show that Germany
research.
funded Lenin and the Bolsheviks
Germany
more than
funded
previously
Lenin.
believed. And by the end of
Ja.
1917,
Nazi confirmed.
Lenin
Nej, jag bara skojar.
Jätteplot twist.
dissolving the Russian army.
Nej, det var inte nassarna, det var
For Germany,
Kaiser.
this is obvious. But for Lenin, the army was an element that could be dangerous in the future. Germany
Lenin
had an
hade ju dock
interest
kunnat
in
få
Lenin and the
Hitler till att bli
Bolsheviks
hans
staying
lilla
in
bitch.
power. And
Ja,
many
ja.
have been Lenin's strongest allies, recognizing
Lenin
no
var
other
liksom-
negotiating partners for
Han
the
hade
treaty.
makten
Most
som
of the other
ingen annan
Russian
hade.
socialists, though, including Trotsky, disagreed with Lenin's desire for peace. But they could not deny that the Russian army pretty much only existed on
What the
paper
fuck,
by
Lenin
then.
och Trotsky
But it was
blev
also pretty much
porträttade
their
som
hands-on
överlord.
agitation and
Ja, ja.
intense propaganda
Varför?
in November that had
Det är
sent the army
propaganda.
home.
Ja.
Lenin ignored the calls for the peace to be negotiated in a neutral country. He thought that with all the international socialists, he would not be able to convince his party of peace. Many of them believed that the world revolution would emerge if the German workers realized their leaders had fought the war for territorial gain. So they favored a peace without
fluffy
annexations.
unicorn
If Germany
dancing
refused
around.
such a peace, then the revolution would begin. And a revolutionary war might destroy the Bolsheviks in Russia, but
Hade
it would
inte
start
Lenin
a world
försvunnit?
revolution. Trotsky conducted the peace talks, not just as foreign minister,
Då
but as
hade-
someone who had taken no money from the Germans.
Vad heter det?
He was told to delay the talks as much
Då
as
hade Hitler
possible
aldrig kommit till
since
makten.
revolution was on the horizon. In mid-January, Germany laid down terms
Lenin
that
hade
would take
stoppat det. Han hade satt stopp för övrigt. Han hade
150,000
bara
square
stopp!
kilometers of Russian
Sluta!
land.
Inte
Petrograd Soviet
okej!
was mad as hell. Many
Och
voted
så har
for
Hitler
war.
bara, okej,
Others
förlåt.
walked out. In the Moscow
Lenin bara,
Soviet,
nej!
only 13 people supported Lenin.
Till Gulag!
400 voted for war. Lenin was losing control because the
Så hade Hitler
idea
blivit ledsen.
of
Så hade han
betraying
skrivit
the
Mein Kampf.
international revolution drove many into opposition.
Fast i Gulag
Trotsky
istället.
floated the neither war nor peace idea, which might at least buy time to organize the Red Army.
Det var
He got a
fint.
lot of support.
Neither
Lenin then
peace,
changed his
eller
rhetoric.
neither war nor
He no
peace.
longer spoke of peace, but
Ja,
asked for a
det är mycket
respite,
fint
arguing
citat
that
ju.
a treaty
Ja,
was just a
det
piece
betyder
of
att man ska
paper they
skydda
could
sig om någon
tear
annan
up
jävel
whenever,
inte
and
håller,
war
eller
with
om någon annan jävel
Germany
håller på.
would come when they were stronger.
Det ska vara likställt.
We saw what happened when Germany reignited
Helt
the
och hållet.
Eastern Front because of the stalled negotiations.
Helt rätt.
They were virtually unopposed in the field and could march
Masstillverka
straight
en
to
bil,
Moscow
liksom.
if they continued.
Ja.
Så får alla en
February
massa.
24th, the Russian government voting whether to accept a peace treaty took place. Many from the left could not vote
Makes
against their
sense.
principles. Many were seen crying as they voted for peace, but Lenin got his majority. But no one wanted their signatures on the treaty. Trotsky threatened to resign. Finally, Grigory Sokolnikov agreed to do it. Lenin kept the conditions of the treaty a secret until March the 7th, when he
Smart,
spoke
dude.
again. Russia lost 780,000 square
jävla
kilometers, 56
nazister.
million people,
Jo, det.
2/3 of coal, iron, and steel production,
Fan,
40% of the
tyskarna
workers,
är ju-
the ideological base, were gone.
Ja,
But
de
he
borde
said that the treaty
hängas.
was the
Jävla
only way
tyskar.
to save Russia and their revolution. In the end, Lenin alienated most of the revolutionary Bolsheviks, provoked an
stackars
Allied
Trotsky.
intervention, and gave Germany huge chunks of territory. Transcaucasia was
Verkligen.
lost. Ukraine, the breadbasket, was lost. If Germany won the World War, Lenin claimed, they would not honor the treaty anyhow, and a revolutionary war would follow. If Germany lost, then the agreement was void and the Allies would
Perfect.
intervene.
Germany förlorade.
Either way, major war was coming, and an army needed to be created. What was already there was famine,
The war is
starvation,
getting major.
and the beginnings of a civil war. The story of Lenin, Trotsky, and the Bolsheviki is immensely complex and is really difficult to grasp sometimes. We put some of our recommended sources in the video description below. If you buy them via the
det var allt
links,
för
you
detta.
can get
Vi
a
ska
small
kolla vad han
cut.
vill
Now,
här.
if you want to
De
learn
borde
more
ni
about
subba på
Russia
då.
before the
De borde
1917
ni väl med
revolution,
subba
you can
på.
click right here for a special episode
Här kan ni
about
stödja
that.
han
Do not forget to
på
subscribe.
Patreon.
See you next time.
See you next time. Japp, det var allt. Until next time, stay high. Hoi.